Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me for the live stream tonight. Tonight we are going to be working on, well, let me switch over to the desk and show you. We are going to be looking at these things. These are the Arduinos, and hopefully we're going to figure out what was going on last week. So, last week's live stream, we got a bunch of the jumper wires. These are the jumper wires. They attach nicely into the spots on the Arduino. And we got those attached to a lot of the wiring. And we got it attached to one of the Arduinos with the sketch going on it, and we ran into some issues with the lighting. So what I need to do tonight is work on figuring out whether it is the Arduino that's the issue or whether it's the sketch that's the issue. We did check to make sure that the lighting was working in the actual model, so that's good. We know that's good. We just need to sort out the other problems so that we know how to go about solving them. So that's what we are going to work on tonight. Let me get my chat window out. Let me also make my chat window bigger. I'm trying to do this the way I did before, and it's not working. Let me make my chat window bigger. I'm not able to do it there. Oh well. Let's see what the chat is saying. Anyway, Ken's Hobby Bench, good evening. I hope you are doing well, Andrew. I am doing much better than I was yesterday. Let me switch back to this view here. I'm doing a lot better than I was yesterday. Yeah, I had some really bad pain, flank pain in my back area, and I've had some kidney issues. So I've had some pain that was quite similar in the same location, so we didn't want to take any risks, so I went into the hospital. They gave me ultrasound, CAT scan, the whole deal, and fortunately everything is good. Must have just been muscular, but because of my history, they want to make sure that everything is good to go. All right. Dirt Rusty. Yeah, none here. Ken in the back, but there is a cover chart. Okay. Let's see. Captain Shellamang, I have arrived. Captain Shellamang of USS Enterprise NCC 1701B asking to come aboard, sir. Welcome aboard. And Brian says, hi, everyone. Trying to figure out why I cannot make this chat window any bigger. Let me go in. Let's do it. Maybe I just can't in this version of the chat. I might have to actually open up YouTube, open up my stream, pop that chat out, and do it that way. Give me one moment, because I would like to be able to see what everybody is saying. Here we go. You can't see what I'm seeing, that's fine. I'm just going to my chat, pop that out. Let's see if I can make this one bigger. Nope. Can't seem to do it today. That's all right. I will deal with regular size chat. Andrew, what are your thoughts on the Tommy Refit Enterprise? Well, I saw a quick picture of it. Looks okay, but I am not overly interested in pre-built stuff. I would rather build it myself. You haven't seen it? Yeah, I saw some pictures online, but yeah, I am much more interested in building my own stuff. Yeah, I am not able to make anything any bigger tonight. Recently watched video on the USS Excelsior 1350. She a big girl, yeah. Yep, the 1350 Excelsior would be. It's bigger than the 1350A and like refit and original series, so that would be a pretty big big ship. All right. Well, I'm not going to get my extra-sized chat tonight, it would seem, but that's okay. I will read it the best as I can. All right, let's get at it. Switch over here, and let's get working on some stuff. All right, before I go too much further, camera's okay, audio's okay, no problems there at all that I need to address before we get working on the ship. I'll take a sip of water and wait for your response in the chat. I also have to wait for the delay on the chat because there's the delay on the video. About 7 to 10 seconds or so. But how are we doing? Can you hear me? Looks good, sounds good, perfect. And I think I solved that problem with it going back to the main camera, so shouldn't be any issues there tonight. Aside from chat, everything seems to be green, sir. Okay, all right. So we've got 3 Arduinos. They are currently all set up with the same sketch. I've also reorganized all of my USB plugins for the stream, so I do have the ability to upload a fresh sketch if necessary to any of these at any time, and we'll see how they go. I have numbered these 1, 2, and 3 just so that I can keep them straight in my own head. There's also a little let me get this here. I've numbered, that's number 1, but there's a little 5 in the corner, and that refers to the COM port that this particular Arduino is using in my software, just so I know which one to connect it up to. I've run into some issues where I thought that I was having issues uploading to an Arduino, but I didn't realize that you have to make sure that the COM port is lined up properly. So I've learned that lesson, and we will get working on that. So I don't know which one is the one I tried last week and which one I didn't try. So we're just going to go through these one at a time, hook them up, and hopefully we will get some effects. Now I'm going to test the Buzzards first because we had the most success with the Buzzards last week. Captain Shalamang, Andrew, did you hear about what happened to Shapeways? Kind of sad, since I know that there are a number of stuff on the 1350 Enterprise and NT are there. Yeah, they went bust apparently. I was talking to a guy that sells a bunch of the stuff that I use, and asked if the rumors were true, and he said no rumors, they've gone under. So yeah, that's disappointing to hear, because there's a lot of stuff I was using. I just got the bridge and conference lounge inserts for the 650D a couple months ago, so I got those in under the wire. But Spaceways, that was selling the parts on Spaceways, so Spaceways, who was selling the parts on Shapeways, I was talking with him, and he said that hopefully he'll be able to make some arrangements with other vendors to be able to get his stuff back out there, which would be great. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay. That was the electrical tape I put on last week. Obviously it did not hold. Might have to do something about that. Okay. Let's see. Deflector impulse. I am looking for Buzzard. That's warp. Buzzard data. Okay, Buzzard goes into number 5. I'm going to unplug this to start with. Buzzard into 5. Then we need Buzzard power. Well, nacelle main. And I'm going to plug those into the breadboard because I want to run power with the capacitor. Make sure I'm plugging all this into the right slots here. Okay, I need nacelle main going into positive and nacelle main going into negative. And all things being equal, this should work because it worked last week. Also, would you happen to know what the site is that I can go to get the 1 through 50, 1/500 scale Excelsior, since I really wanted to get my hands on the beautiful girl? I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about, but Marshall Models has one, which might be the one you're talking about. So I'm not sure what the website is for that, but if you search Marshall Models, you should be able to find that. Okay, let's plug this in and see if it works. Okay, perfect. So the white navs are on by default because of the power. That's fine. And the Buzzards are functioning, if you can see that. Yeah, no problem. You'll just need to Google that. All right. So those are working. Now, to do a proper set of testing, that's Arduino number 1. Put that up here. I'm going to grab Arduino number 2. Hook them up. 5 volts. Ground and pin number 5 for the data. Buzzard going into 5. Okay. Powered on. We see the nav power right away, and we see Buzzards. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to move on to Arduino number 3. Same deal. Ground. Positive in 5 volts. You start data into pin number 5. And power, nav's on, Buzzard's on. Okay, so we know that that works on all 3 of the Arduinos. Okay, next. Just going to unplug this. I'm going to leave the power into the breadboard for our next round of testing. We are now going to test, let's see, what should we test? We could test Windows. No, yes, Windows. So Windows are going to be in pin number 9. Because I think Windows are one of the things that weren't working properly on this sketch last week. So let's try that out. Ground. 5 volts. Verify it's pin number 9. And on. And I forgot to swap out the power. We need the window power, not the nacelle power. Easy mistake to make. Windows. So I've got Windows positive, not to be confused with Windows 11. And let's find Windows over here. It'll be one of the ones that's hooked up to a jumper. It's just a matter of Windows minus. Here we go. It was just a matter of finding the right one. Okay. Let's power her up again. And we should get Windows. And we don't get Windows. Okay. So that's consistent with what we were seeing last week on this sketch. Okay. Let's power that down. Let's try Arduino number 2. Just process of trial and elimination here. Okay, that's power in. Windows are number 9. Power her up. Nothing on the Windows, okay. All right, let's check Arduino number 1. Now, Windows were a late add, so I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater here and assume that the entire sketch has issues. But checking the Windows is an important step here. Let's try that again, and no Windows. Okay. I will check the Windows on the white light test sketch. Again, I'll have to load that onto one of the Arduinos. But I want to check the warp effect before I do that. So let's grab number 3. We've got the warp effect data, which goes on number 4. Pin number 4. And we will find the warp power. Warp power. Okay, here's the warp positive. We'll take those window ones out. Warp positive. Now I just need to find the warp negative, which I think is on the nacelles, because I think we combine the negs coming down the pylons. Let me see if I can speak properly here. We combined the negatives coming down the pylon to save on wiring. So all that's on the same negative. Okay, nacelle main, warp positive. Nothing. All right. Let me throw nacelle main positive on just in case. Oh, okay. So the problem there may simply be that I didn't plug the actual power source into the Arduino. What's been your favorite large-scale Star Trek model that you've built both before and after you started your channel? Well, the first large scale I've done was the Don Choco D, which has been dwarfed by the Helios D. And yeah, it's because I've mostly done like stuff around the same size as the 1400E D, kind of that size. So I haven't done a huge amount in the larger size ships. Although I've got a bunch of the 350 TOS refits and NX-01 sitting on my shelf, I haven't actually built any of those. Mostly because they've been built time and time again on YouTube, and unless there's a really unique, different way of doing something, I'm not sure that I really want to do that on my channel. Okay, the power is actually plugged into the Arduino now, so let's plug this in and see if we get any warp power. And again, we're just getting the two. You may not be able to see that. Let me get that a little closer. We're just getting the few lights at the very beginning of the strip there, which is exactly the same issue we were having last week, both in these strips and the test strips I was using it on. So, Let's go through the test process here and swap out the Arduinos. Okay, ground and 5, and pin number 4. Let's give her some power, see if it does the same thing. Okay, that's doing exactly the same thing there. So this is telling me that it's got to be the sketch. An issue with the sketch. But let's check the last Arduino. Warp's on 4. And same issue. Okay, so I think I can pretty much say that it's not the Arduinos themselves. It must be something to do with the sketch or my copy of the sketch. I wonder if something's happened to my copy of it. So I may have to get a fresh copy from Danny, the programmer. So let me send a message off to Danny, the programmer, and let him know that there seems to be something up with the sketch. All right, so I'm going to say just tested out the sketch on all 3 Arduinos I've got here in the shop, and I'm getting exactly the same results as I did during the stream last week. So I'm wondering if my copy of the sketch is an issue. Send that off, and perhaps we'll hear back from Danny. It's gotta be, I have no idea what time it is over there. I can probably check here on my phone. I don't need the weather, I need the clocks. I need the world clocks. And I'm guessing it's 3:23 in the morning, but we might just be getting a reply. So, yeah. That's so weird. What is not working exactly? Let's see. Nothing on the windows. And the warp is only lighting the first couple LEDs on the strip. All of these work with the white test script or sketch. All right. Actually, I am streaming. If you want to see for yourself. All right. There we go. Let me get my chat window back open. Let's see. Are you able to show the sketch on screen? I am not showing the sketch on screen because that is not my intellectual property. That is Danny's intellectual property, and I'm not going to show it on screen without his say-so. But let's see. Maybe change. Oh, let me grab this here because I'm getting a message back. Maybe change the amount of LEDs for the warp drive in the sketch. He's going to have a look. It is stupid o'clock in the morning there, so... Here, let me just see. I know it is stupid o'clock in the morning there. Okay, I have to go into the sketch, so just bear with me. Doopy doopy doo, doopy doopy doo, doopy doopy doo, doopy doo, doopy doo, doopy doo. All right, let me see what he's saying. Can you see the tab, the warp drive, warp engine class? I see that. Okay. I know this is riveting content for the stream. Go in that tab. And indeed I am there. Yeah, I am there. Change that, okay, change the number of LEDs. Let me just see what it says here. Actually, it's already got the right number in there. Mine has the right, my sketch, so he's telling me to change it from 2 LEDs to the right number of LEDs, and I have already done that. I have already done that in my copy of the sketch. I have it set to 35. All right. Let me see what chat is saying. Yvang says my 650 Enterprise D from Helios arrived yesterday. Can't wait to start it. It's huge. Yes, it is. And until you see it in person, you can't really tell. Yes, that is what I have done. Because he said, you just need to set it to the length of the single strip, and I'm just saying, yes, that is what I have done. Okay, let's get the chat back here. Yeah, until you see the thing in person for yourself, it's hard to know just how big it actually is. Captain Shalmang, is the 650 a resin or plastic? Resin. The detail is so good at that scale. Funny, when it comes to live streams, if something can go wrong, it can, especially if the kit or electronics decide to be difficult as a stubborn child. It was already set to the amount when I uploaded it. I think I did that a while ago. All right. No doubt about that. Yvang, I got the older 1400D, and she's decently detailed, and so no doubt the 650 is even more detailed. Yeah. Funny though, it is as far as surface details, there's no surface details on it. Zero. None. No lifeboat details, no grid line details, nothing like that. The only thing that's there are windows, but the windows are fully open. So those are the only details that are there. Danny's getting back to me. And you are sure you have saved it before uploading? It's weird. Yes. So it works, but only on 2 LEDs. The two LEDs are not the right color. They are multicolor. So yes, we are problem solving on stream, and I'm sure I'm losing people for this. And you know what? Just to make it a little easier, let me switch back to this view here while we are doing that, and I can chat with you. Chat with you while I'm chatting with Danny in my other chat. All right. So let's see. Let's open that up. Wait, the 6-foot studio scale is only 1/650. No. The 650 is the 6 foot is closer to a 350 scale. The 650 scale is about 3 feet long, so not even as big as a 4-foot filming studio. But it's the biggest kit that you can get for building this thing currently. Let's see. Okay. Wait. Can you tell me what LED strip you are using? Which chip is in those LEDs? I am pretty sure. Here, let me switch back here. That they are WS2812C-2020. That's what I need to tell Danny. They are. Let me get this back on here. And let me go tell Danny which ones they are. They are the WS2812C-2020. There we go. Could they not make the detail at that scale, or is the 1/650 skit detail in decals? Well, they it would have been nice had they put grid lines on, but grid lines are something that you can put on yourself, without too much difficulty. And a lot of the details, like I will probably put raised detail on for the skate pods, possibly. There's some brass etch parts that are being made by somebody else who has this kit that I might try to get my hands on. And let's see, what else? All the detail as far as the paneling and all that kind of the Aztec detail, I'm going to be painting on this thing. And Wayne from Motion Picture Miniatures is doing a masking set for that. So let's see, while Danny's looking that up, I'm going to turn. At least I think I am. Oh, I need to plug it in over here. Because I always keep my solder station unplugged when I don't need it. But any idea on what you might want to build next once you clear up some of the current projects? Yeah. I don't know if you heard that crunch. I just stepped on a little plastic cup. I may want to work on something like this. If you can see that. I can't see it yet because I don't have that window open. I am working with one screen tonight and clicking on the wrong things. Yeah. I have this, the 1000 scale Akira class. Which would, if I get a chance to build for myself, and I don't have any client projects on the bench, this is what I would like to do. The 1000 scale Akira. So the saucer, for reference, is, let's see, what are we looking at? So for those of you that use Freedom units, you are looking at about... It's hard to get quite perfect on the mat here, but you're looking at about 9.5 inches wide, if I've got that right. And you're looking at roughly 10, 20, 24 centimeters across, here to here. Yeah. So it's a nice size, and one of my favorite ships. So it's nice to have the translucent copy of that. Comes with all the details, all the markings and stuff like that. However, I don't know that this is white backed, so that might be a consideration. There are window masks provided. There's the pylons, so you can see kind of how long it starts to get. And it looks like there's going to be some fit issues. This looks like it's going to be a world of putty work. That's okay. Yeah, so if I ever get the time to do something just for me, that's going to be it. I am getting some an Akira, very nice. Yeah. Let me just see here. Danny's just sending me some messages. Yeah. All right. So Danny is stumped, but it is late at night there, so I'm going to tell him no worries. No worries. No need to work on it tonight. I'm wondering if my copy of the script is corrupt or something. We can work on it another day. Let me see what he says. Meanwhile, the solder gun is, the solder station is all nice and hot. So we should be able to get some more jumper wires. Yay! Exciting content. Yeah. I've got time. Yep. So we're just working on getting time together to be able to chat on stuff and get things sorted. So this is going to be turning into a soldering and chatting stream, if that's okay with you. Well, even if it's not okay with you, that's what it's turning into. Let me go back to the chat here. All right. Let's catch up on the chat. Captain Shamang, I still got get a hold of my copy of both the Titan A and the Stargazer kits. Just need the funds. Looking forward to eventually seeing it here whenever you get the chance to build her. Yeah, I would love to get to build her, but that's just got to be whenever I don't have commission work. Andrew, what temperature do you solder your wires at? Right now, I'm about 750. All right. Give me one more moment here. Okay. All right. Let me get all the things back on the screens that I want them to be on. There we go. Okay, let's see. I've got face cam in the corner here. I've got workspace cam here. We're good to go. All right, we're going to sort out all this mess here that is still needing to be sorted out. Now, Ken, I am by no means the expert on what temperature to be using for soldering. I use what works for me and what doesn't burn out the LEDs. And I do, from time to time, adjust that depending on what's going on, how the solder is flowing, that kind of stuff. So, but I'm by far not an expert on any of that. So if you're looking for advice on that, there are people who would know a lot more about that than I do. I don't like it to be too... I want it to be hot enough to make the solder flow without too much effort, but I also don't want it to be too hot where it transfers too much heat up into the LEDs. But I have discovered, and this is just my little thing, and I don't know the validity of it, but it seems through observation to be a thing. I'm going to get rid of this bit of probably going to get rid of that bit of yellow electrical tape I put on there last week. High Endring Time fan. I'm not sure what you mean there, but that's okay. As long as it's family safe, that's okay. All right, let's see. What have we got to work on here? All the datas are wired up, so I'm just going to put those aside because we need to do the positive side and we need to do the negative side. And a bunch of these are already done. This... Let's see, what is this? Saucer top nav plus. Okay. Saucer top nav plus. Let's keep that taped to the side. Let's see. Any tips for working with the pre-wire SMDs that have a braided coated wire instead of a strippable insulation layer? No, I have never used those, so I would not know what to tell you. If it's braided, like, let's see. Do you mean braided like this, kind of like how this, like braided on the outside covering? Kind of like how this USB cable's braided? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Hi, Andrew, long time fan. Okay, nice to have you here. I'm assuming that might be what you meant to say the first time. So thank you for the translation. Nice to have you. Thanks for watching. This is a bit of a jumble of a stream tonight, because I was testing out the Arduino stuff, and I was chatting in another window with the programmer, because we're not sure what's going on with the sketches on the Arduinos right now. So it's been a little bit of a weird stream so far. The wires look more manageable than the chaos of wires that was on your bench last weekend. Yeah, it is getting there. Let's see. It's like the wire has been dipped into plastic dip. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Without seeing it and really having a good idea of what that is. That said, you know, I should probably set up a Discord for my YouTube channel so that if somebody has a question like that, they can just send a picture through and I can look at it. So that might be something to work on. Okay, so I've got nav top plus, so that's the first nav. That's probably a constant on, which requires just power. Let me just tape that to the side here so I can see it. I have saucer, nav, plus bottom. Okay, this is the same thing. Yeah, constant on. I'm going to take this over here with the other one. Keep that out of the way. This red stuff. Okay. Andrew's pet peeve time. So I'm using a wire wrapping wire for this, and the black is on a spool, but it's quite loose. It's not tightly coiled, or it doesn't keep its coil very much. It sits very loose when it comes off the spool. The red, however, I can move it around, I can shake it, I can do anything, and it doesn't come off the roll because it is so tightly coiled. I have to really look and find the end of it, and when I do, it just looks like a slinky, which has made it a real hassle coming down the post because they all want to curl like this. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so that's quite... I don't understand what's going on there with that. Danny just sent me another message. Talking about saving changes. Yeah, changes were saved. Changes were saved quite some time ago. I'm going to go back into the script. Yep, everything looks right. Okay, changes were saved quite some time ago. All right, let me come back to the stream. Let's see. Are you able to open the sketch in Arduino IDE? You might find a typo or something simple in the compile. Danny's going to go back through it and have a look at it. I've got it open, but I don't know enough about the code to be able to troubleshoot it to that extent. That is something that Danny will need to do. So, yeah. I could probably learn, but it would be a time thing, time priority thing, and I don't have the time to learn that when I've got somebody available to me who knows it, right? So it just comes down to what are my time priorities. And when you've got a young family and you're working full time and you're building commissions, time management is really key, because you don't want to shortchange your family, you don't want to shortchange your job, and you do still want to get projects off the bench in a timely manner, or at least as timely as you are able to do. So this is nav flash number 2. So there's 2 nav flashing circuits on the ship. So there's the back of the warp engines. There's the strobe on the back of the warp engines, top and bottom. There's a strobe on the belly of the secondary hull, and those are all on. Oh, and there's a strobe behind the bridge, and those are all on the first strobing circuit. And then the strobes either side on the saucer are on a completely different speed. So they're on a completely different circuit. So those are flash number 2. So I'm going to tape that one down. I need some. Let me put the mouse on top to keep it there. Grab a piece of tape and tape it down. And tape it down so I can see the tag. Because essentially what I want to do now is I want to get all of the same circuits consolidated and onto a jumper. This one's already on a jumper. That's probably Windows. Yeah. I am slowly... This one doesn't have a label on it. Oh, that is one of the ones that is label-less. So I have to figure out a way of determining which one that is. Let me tape that off to the side over here, just to keep it all sorted. Last week, I was able to hold down Control and scroll to make my chat bigger, so I could read it easier. This week, it doesn't seem... Oh! Okay, it is now making a liar out of me. And in fact, it has just gone so big that I can't actually do anything with it. So I'm going to reopen it. And pop it back out. There we go! So much easier to read. Evang says, I'm thinking about scribing my own panel lines on the 650. The straight lines are easy, but do you have any tips for doing the oval shapes on the saucer section? Well, how are you doing the detail? Are you going to be painting, or are you going to be using the Aztecs? Sorry, the decals that Helios provides? That's my first question to you. Because how you're doing that will dictate my response there. Okay. I can see the chat. It's wonderful. And you know what? I have no idea how many people are watching. And that's okay. I don't mind not knowing. All right. Decals. Okay, so that's going to be trickier. And I would almost say don't scribe them if you're using the decals, because you're going to have a harder time lining the deflector grid lines up with where the Aztec falls on the decals. The advantage to painting it and using Wayne's paintings masking set is that he's doing them in the pies of that line up with the deflector lines, and so it's going to be really easy to lay down the so it's going to be easy to do the main. Let me grab it here, just because I'll be able to explain it better. And I'll just have to move the E. Oh, I can't move the E because I've got things taped down. Forgot about that. Okay, well, I'll just hold it here. So, I don't know if you can see on this one, but I've got a pencil. Maybe if I get into that shadow. But I've got a faint pencil line running here to the edge of the saucer. And that's the center grid line. And I needed that when I was when we were test fitting the masks on this kit. Wayne has got access to one of these now to actually physically work with, so we don't have to do that. Makes his process a whole lot faster. But I had drawn on this center and then the center across here. But what I'm going to do with the masks is I'm going to start with, I will scribe in this center line, and then I will start laying down the mask there in the pies, and then that'll show me exactly where the next grid line needs to go. And that way it's going to line up perfectly with those painted sections. I'm going to be able to do that because I will have the masking set. And so the pie shapes for the masking set will dictate where the grid lines are supposed to go. And so it'll line up with all the paint detail, etc. So if you're using the decals, I have not seen the decals and how they've divided them up. If they've divided them up into those natural grid line pie sections, you may be able to kind of trim those up, lay them down where they're supposed to go, and get your grid lines from there. But it all depends on how those have been done. So I'm not quite sure what the best route there would be. I'm just going to put this back over on the table. Yeah, I've opted to not use the wallpaper decals for the Aztecs on this project. I like to paint, and painting it brings along its own set of issues that have to be worked out. Okay, I'm going to, since I moved the model and retaped down this section over here, I need to retape down the flasher number 2 circuit. Totally forgot that I'd tape things down. All right. Okay, you saw the line. Perfect. Does the gentleman who did the programming for the light for you do the lighting commercially? And how much does he charge if he does? Currently, he does not. He was thinking about doing that, but as with many of us, he is busy with working and life, and has not gotten around to deciding how he might want to handle that. So I don't know if he will or not, and I don't know, and there is more competition out there now in the smart LED Arduino Raspberry Pi lighting realm now, more than there ever used to be. So I think he would probably need to come up with a really cool, unique way of doing it that would allow him to stand out from the other people that are now doing it. Okay, Ventral Panel Nav Plus. Ventral panel is a constant on, I believe. I may have to go back to the... Yes, ventral panel. So ventral panel being the panel underneath the shuttle bay, the main shuttle bay on the back, on the tail fin. And that's a constant on, so I'm going to tuck this underneath these wires and leave that with, if I can grab it here, with those other constant on LED wires. I need a pair of tweezers. Here we go. It's a lot easier lifting the tape up with a pair of tweezers. All right. Making progress. What is this one? Just need to detangle. That's another problem with this curly whirly wiring. It just tangles like mad. Shuttle Bay Plus. That is constant on. Shuttle Bay Plus, so that is the small LED in the Shuttle Bay observation deck area to make that look like it's alive and vibrant and doing things. And that is just a 0402 SMD that's in there and just requires power on. Earlier you mentioned photo etch parts for the 650. Can you share who you use for those parts and what parts are photo etched? Hagen on the some of the Facebook groups is doing it because he's doing it for his, and so he may or may not make those photo etch parts available. I'm not sure if he's decided yet, but we may be able to get our hands on them. We'll see. Hagen Miller. I think Miller is his last name there. But very pro, Hagen Miller, very much part of the online modeling community, and he's just, and I don't mind sharing that because he has shared all the pictures on the Facebook groups. Let me see. Actually, let me ask his permission here first before I share on the stream. Is it okay for me to share a picture of your impulse photo etch on live stream? All right. We'll see if I can do that. Let me come back to the stream. Come back to the chat. Would it not be easier for the contest, for the constant on wire to have them different color from the other colors you are using, so you know what you're looking for? If you lose them in the mess, possibly, but because they are power positive, I put them on red, and that's why I label them all. And I mean, coloring is limited. There's only so many colors of wire that I have available to me right now in this gauge. Probably be the smart thing to do, not gonna lie. Be easier to find everything, but then you have to remember what color everything is too, right? Ventral secondary hall flash. So that is on the first flashing circuit, which I don't believe we have found first flashers yet. So this will be the first of the first flasher grouping. And of course, let me have to get it all detangled. And the tricky part is making sure that you don't pull the label off while you're doing it. Okay. What I really need to do is once I've got these all pulled out here, I need to keep them taped to this desk until I deal with them. So that means that this desk is now dedicated to the E until the 1400E until I get these wires dealt with. Okay. This is warp. These ones are already dealt with. Nacelle Plus. Why is that Nacelle Plus? What could possibly be on this circuit that is not on the nacelle main? I'm wondering if I've labeled that one wrong. I have a thought. I have a thought. No. Can't be. I was thinking that this might be controlling the warp, but it's not because I have that one right here. Nacelle Plus. Because that's not the Buzzards. Unless that is the nacelle flashers. I will have to check that. So let's put this one right here. Tape it down over here, where we know it's going to be. One of the problems is doing all this wiring so long ago is that it's hard to keep track of what's what. What was my mindset when I did this back a few months ago? All right. Dorsal tail nav. That is the LED right there. That is a constant on, I believe. So let's get this untangled. There we go. That was easy. And just get it grouped in with these ones under this little piece of tape. So all those will get consolidated down to one jumper cable for going to power. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything from Danny or, excuse me, whew, or from Hagen here. I don't want to show the the stuff he's posted without consent. All right, nothing yet. So let's get back to the stream and to the chat. Seems Bill Krause is at it again with USS Intrepid. The pics so far on Facebook look good. Yeah, his stuff always looks good. Although I was a little bit surprised by one thing. I saw his internal lighting layout, and it looked to me like he was lighting everything in series for his window lights. And just seemed a little odd to me, because it's, I mean, it's certainly not the way I would choose to wire up. But I am also not the caliber of modeler that Bill Krause is, so I'm sure there's no problems with wiring them all up in series. But I would never question his work because he knows what he's doing. So he must not be too worried about it. I just get worried that one connection fails, the whole line goes out. Maybe I just don't have faith in my own work. I don't know. But I tend to like to have redundancies on the redundancies kind of a deal, right? That's just the way I tend to think. What's this one? Dorsal panel nav plus. Did I not? Oh, that's this one right here. And that is also a constant on. This is actually the last LED installed on the model, because it was on the last panel that was installed, doing the final close-up on the ship. That the dorsal panel on the neck of the ship there. It's always my last panel to go on. There's a couple greebles that need to go on, that kind of thing, but as far as like actual construction of the ship, that's always the last part to go on for me. On this model, I should say. The last part on the 1400E. Getting there on sorting out this wiring. Deflector, positive. Deflector, it's not taking a huge amount. That can probably go with the constant ons. I'm going to just keep it separate here for a minute. That's just, the deflector is just 1 5mm addressable LED. Okay, we've got permission to show the photo etch. So I will find that after I tape this down. And yeah, let me tape this down, then I will find a good image I can pop up on the screen for you. Let's see. He just he would just clarify that he still considers it a work in progress. So just bear with us on that. Yeah, this is a good picture. Let me just save it somewhere. Find a place where I can find it. Okay, and let me just dump it into my streaming software. And I'll pop it up. There we go. So that is photo etch to go on the secondary hull. Which getting a bit of a glare. So the impulse right here. So that's the, let me see if I can match the shot here. So that's what you're looking at. So I will throw up this in large format so you can see what it looks like. You know what? The light is making it really hard to see that. So let me switch cameras to show you on this one. There it is. So that's the way the part is on the kit. And then this is the photo etch that he's currently working on. So what you would do is put your lighting in behind there, and you would paint that up in the dark color, whatever that is on the studio model, and then this would glow red from your LED, but have the distinct pattern of the impulse engine as it appeared on the studio model. So that's a really nice little piece to go in on that kit. Yeah, it looks really, really good. And he's gone through and learned the process of photo etch because he wanted to have photo etch parts for his 650E. And so he's thinking that now that he knows the process and has everything he needs to be able to do that, making some parts for this one. So it's really interesting how so many more people are able to work on learning different skills to make their projects all that much better. So I think it's really cool that he's gone through and learned how to do that, and it looks like he's getting some really good results. All right, what's this one? Survey says flash number 2. Okay, this is our second flash number 2 circuit. So that's the bottom, and this one will be the top. Okay, so I know that these two are going to get connected together. Now the power positive on the flash circuits is actually also going to be the data cable. So essentially the Arduino will use the data port as an analog on and off for the power. At least that's the way I understand it. But again, I am not a doctor. I don't know these things. This is my... Okay, this was my deflector. It got loose somehow. So I'm going to re-tape that down. Okay, what's left that's loose? I think that's everything. Because these are loose, but they've been wired up. And I don't know why I taped those together there. Okay. All right. Let me back the window line out of here. Okay, so essentially all of these wires here are going to be condensed down to 1. And those will be condensed down to 1 jumper wire. So we'll get that taken care of tonight. Also, these 2 flasher circuits will get condensed down to 1. I'm just worried about where flasher number 2's here, but where's flasher number 1? Why am I not seeing anything for flash number 1? You know what? I think I put them underneath. I think I put them in with these, because dorsal is the back, so that's here. So ventral, there's a ventral one I think that needs to be separated, because one of the unknown wires, one of these ones here, is a flasher circuit. One of them is going to be for the bridge flasher, because I have not seen the bridge flasher. I need to check all these wires again. Dorsal tail nav, dorsal panel, saucer top nav plus, shuttle bay, saucer nav bottom. This has to be it. Ventral panel. Nope, nope, nope. Ventral secondary hull flash. Okay, this is flash 1. This nacelle plus has to be the flasher for the nacelle, and then one of these unlabeled ones has to be the flasher on the bridge. Okay, so I need to sort that out before I start soldering stuff. So let me move these over here. We'll keep the positives all over here on this side, and we will separate out. We will separate out now the negatives, the positives and the negatives. All right. I don't have my chat up, so I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff. I'm missing out not being in this Facebook group. What is the name of the group? Let me backtrack here. Captain Shelling says, seeing those pictures of the etch on the Starship Models group, did not know that these were for the 650 kit. I thought it was for the 1400, but then again, I was just skimming through the pics. Yeah, so it's for the 650, and he's building one himself, and it's going to look great. The work he's done on his 650E looks really, really good. So I can pretty much guarantee that the work he does on his 650D is going to be just as good. I'm missing out on being in this Facebook group. What is the name of it? Yeah, so Star Trek let me just double check the name of the group. There's a few of them, and yeah, Star Trek Modelers Group, I believe. Yeah, Star Trek Modelers Group, and it's a really good group. They've got a ship of the week. So if you finish a project, post your pictures up on the Facebook group, and then everybody in the group votes on by likes of the pictures, which one they like the most, which is completely a subjective thing most of the time. It's just your personal tastes and what you particularly like, and then the one that gets the most votes gets to be the banner on the Facebook group for the week. So that's really cool. I really like that aspect of that group. So Star Trek Modelers Group. You can look for that on Facebook, and I'm sure that they would be happy to have you join. All right. Back to the stream chat. Yeah, Star Trek Modelers Group. Yep. I see you're all wired up tonight. Yeah, working on it. We've decided that, so we did some earlier testing on the Sketch that wasn't working properly last week. Tried it on 3 different Arduinos, getting the same results. So I know that it's not the Arduinos, so we've been able to, through process of elimination, remove the Arduinos themselves as the issue. We've also run all the LEDs on a white light test script. So that we know they are all working, so it's not the LEDs inside the ship. Funny enough, the one thing that is working on the Sketch is the Buzzards. So I should have let Danny know that the Buzzards are working, although he saw it last week on the stream, so I'm sure he knows. All right, nav flash number 2 top. Let's tape that down, and we'll get a move on here. I am only going to be streaming till 11 o'clock. My normal, if I can get this to be a normal thing, my normal stream will be Saturdays from 9 to 11 Eastern. Captain Shalmang says, very nice people, got on the Ship of the Week thing they do with several others once with my USS Excelsior. Still shocked how I managed that. It's kind of a cool thing that they do, and it's a great way to be able to highlight different builds. And like I said, it's a completely subjective thing. So the criteria that somebody uses when they are voting on which one they like the most can be completely different than the criteria of the next person who's voting. So it is a completely subjective thing. So whether your ship gets chosen to be the banner or whether it comes in as a runner-up or something like that, you know, there's it's all subjective because it's art, and art is subjective, or at least judging art is subjective. Building models is art. And when somebody commissions a model to be built, they understand that they are commissioning a piece of art. And that takes time. Shuttle bay negative. So that'll be constant on. Let me detangle that up closer here and then put that off to the side. Probably didn't need my solder station running this whole time. I'm going to turn it off until I need it. All right. Okay, this is one that's already been done. I'll just detangle it, get it out of the way. Same with this one. Same with this one here. And we're left with this mess over here. Dorsal panel nav negative, which is this one. So that's a constant on. Detangle it from the group and tape it down over here with this one. Yeah, this black wiring is nowhere near as difficult to work with as the red stuff is. Yvang says, it's just fun sharing your builds with other model builders. Probably a good place to get tips too. I just sent my request to join. Yeah. People ask questions all the time. And it's a great way to... This is not labeled. It's a great way to harvest the hive mind knowledge. Resistance is futile. Okay, there we go. Oh, I grabbed the red ones there. Did not mean to do that. So this is a unknown soldier. It's going to be fun tracking these down. These got tangled in again. That's probably why I taped the other ones down and on the positive side, just to keep them out of the way. Okay, what's this one? Ventral secondary hall flash. Okay, so this is flasher circuit number 1. What model enterprise do you like to put together? Lots of them. I like lots of them. The one I've built the most of is this, the 1400 scale E. Ventral secondary hull flash. Got it. Okay. Which one do I like the best? I don't like to put together the best. I don't know. I mean, each kit has its positives and its negatives. I mean, this kit can make a nice looking model when it's done, but it's got its detractors. It's too narrow. The ratio's been squished in a little bit, so when you paint the detail, you have to kind of take some creative liberty to make everything fit properly because it's not as wide versus length as the studio model. The pylons do not fit well into the secondary hull, so there's a ton of putty work that needs to be done there. The 1400 scale D has a lot of inaccuracies that you have to go through and modify if you want it to look right. The Don Shoko Enterprise D 1000 scale is a brute to put together. I don't know how the Helios is going to be to put together because I haven't put it together yet. I'm hoping it goes together really nicely. I've heard that the 350 refit can be a brute to build too. Ventral panel nav minus. So that's a constant on. That's going to go over here. Wait. Ventral panel. Yeah, so that's the under the shuttle bay. Okay. Just keeping everything straight. So I don't really know how to answer that question. If you're asking me which Enterprise do I like the most? Again, I'm not quite sure how I would rate those, but which one do I like to build the most? Saucer top nav minus. I'm assuming that that's the constant on. I will test all these before they get soldered together. Okay, let's grab another one here. I did have all these separated out at one point, but couldn't keep the model there. Nav flash 2 bottom. Okay, so that's flasher circuit 2. That's flasher circuit 1. Make sure that I tape these so that the label is showing. Dorsal tail nav minus. Dorsal, that's this one here. That's a constant on. Just one more loose wire. Maybe? Saucer bottom nav minus. That is a constant on as well. Okay, I'm going to need to do some testing. So join me as I try to test these wires to make sure that they are actually doing what they are supposed to be doing. Kind of a flashback to last week. The 1350 can definitely be a giant pain in the rear end to build. I just need to move this. Be it the toss, refit, and yeah. I've heard that it can be a pain, especially fitting the if you're putting the shuttle bay in the back end of it. I hear that that is a pain to get it to fit right. I think the USS Protostar would be a cool model. Not sure if anyone is making it though. Yeah, it's not my favorite. The sizing on it seems off to me, but I mean it is a cartoon, right? So I have not seen the second season of Prodigy yet because I live in Canada. I do not currently have a VPN to be able to watch it because it's not available on our Canadian Netflix. I'm hoping it becomes available and I don't have to try to get a VPN in order to watch it. We'll have to see. It's a bit of a pain to avoid spoilers though. So this is off. This is cold. That's good because I need to verify a few things before I can put down some solder tonight. So I need to verify that what is it? Nacelle Plus. Is this it? Nacelle Plus. I need to verify what this is. I am thinking that it is the flashing circuit on the back end, but I cannot be sure. So that would be nacelle main over here for the negative, and we'll use the breadboard for power. As it's got the capacitor on it. And the problem with this is that I do not have a jumper on this. So yeah, okay, that is what I thought it was. So this is flashing circuit 1. I need my Sharpie. So I can name this. Flash 1. Okay. So there are... Sorry, just thinking. There are... So Flash 1 circuit has bridge, ventral secondary hull, and these on the end. So we've identified those on the end. So this is flash circuit 1. This is a ventral flash. So this is the ventral flash on the secondary hull. I can tape this one here together, and I need to find the one for the bridge. And I'm not sure which one it is. So it's going to be one of these two. And I'm going to have to hope these stick in. Hope these stay in. And then test out each of these circuits until the bridge LED turns on. Ah! I'm pulling wires. Let me grab some green screen tape. Put that underneath there. Hold that up so I can see the bridge. Let me grab a jumper. Actually, let me grab a jumper extension. Doesn't matter what color it is. Oh, I do happen to have a black one. That's convenient. Let's see. Second season is good. Won't spoil it, but some good guest stars. Thank you for not spoiling it. Captain Shelming says, have no interest in see the new series, mainly due to being salty that Lower Decks is done, and I'd like that one a lot. Yeah, Lower Decks was fun. Evang, I love Lower Decks. Did you see the crossover with Strange New Worlds? So well done. I was kind of curious how they were going to handle that crossover, but I mean, considering that it was a live action to an animated crossover, I think that they handled it very well. They're just very fortunate. Not that one. That the voice actors look enough alike to their characters, not that one, that they were relatively, not that one, able to pull it off. Not that one. Oh, I do have a blank over here. Not that one. Oh. Okay, so it's sharing a ground with nav flash number 2 top. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, but let's see. Yuvang, Lower Decks is also one of my favorite TNG episodes. Yeah, it was good. Captain Shalamang, yes, I did see the crossover. I think it was all right. Okay. The other thing I need to do is, now that I don't know if you can actually see that the bridge flasher is lit up there. There's probably too much surrounding light, but it is lit up, which means if I pull one of these, I can identify which one it is, and it is that one. Hooray. Okay, so I can label this as bridge, so flash number 1, bridge flash number 1. Where'd my Sharpie go? Sharpie's over here, got it. Okay. Bridge flash number 1 positive, which means through process of elimination that this other one here is the phaser array, which means we should be able to test the script with the phaser array. But let me get that labeled so I don't forget what's what. Phaser plus. Good. All right. When it comes to TNG, my favorite episode was Yesterday's Enterprise. Really makes me want a series dealing with her and the Beast, since they are only really mentioned in passing. Yeah, there's a whole era that they could base a series in. But if they go, anytime that they go back, I really want them to do it as a period piece, meaning that they're treating it like a period piece, where the visuals actually look like the visuals that are already established for that time period. Not that you can't improve upon the visual effects and all that kind of stuff, but for the spirit of the period that's being represented to be respected. That's what I would like to see. So if they could do that and do more in that Lost era, I think that would be really cool. Okay. So we are making progress. So if that is phaser, where is my phaser negative? Phaser negative. Phaser negative might actually be... No. I think there's a lost one here. This might be phaser negative. Because those are all nav on, nacelle. Oh, impulse phaser is together here. Okay, so that's already together. So let's test the phaser circuit. Yes, like in DS9 when they did the Trouble with Tribbles episode. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely clean things up and make them slicker on the shoot and the film and like the filming of it and stuff like that, while maintaining the spirit of the original, which I'm assuming that they don't generally do because it's just easier to do your own thing, right? Which I get that, but it would be nice. Okay, that's the bridge. There's the phaser. Plug that in as best I can. Hopefully that's in there enough that it doesn't come out. Let's find the phaser data. What's this? Buzzard data. Warp data. Brent Spiner data. Nope, this is the phaser data. Got it. Okay. Phaser is in... Phaser isn't even on my list. I wonder if I've just got the pins wrong. Trials and Tribulations, yeah. Isn't that the one where they deal with a space storm and we see the original TOS Enterprise for a few moments? Haven't really watched DS9. It's the one where they actually go back into the Trouble with Tribbles episode. And so you've got Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scotty, all of them in the episode, and the DS9 characters are put into that episode. It was really well done, especially for the 90s. Let me check the sketch. Let me go to phaser array, LED pin 6. Okay. Let me. I've got the sketch open. So Buzzard is working. It's pin 5. That is correct. Phaser array, warp engines, pin set. Oh, we may have found the issue. Changed the pins from previous numbers. I may have not had the pin numbers right. We're going to have to test that. But which means I am going to start a new list of pins here. Pen. I need a pen. I have a pen. Okay, that would explain a lot. And I don't see Windows listed here anywhere. Okay. Buzzards are pin number 5. Phaser array are pin number 6. Warp is pin number 7. we may have found the issue. And it may be that I was dealing with pin numbers from a previous Sketch version and not the pin numbers for this Sketch version. So that would be on me and not Danny. Okay, I'm going to unplug this so we don't have any power when I plug the phaser data in. Phaser data goes into pin 6. Okay. Let me get my stream chat back here. Time to experiment with the hypothesis, Batman. Yeah. Let's see. Vang said DS9 did that episode to honor Star Trek's 30th anniversary. Did some green screen magic in that one. Yeah, and inserting like O'Brien and Bashir in the lineup when Kirk is asking who started the fight. That was kind of cool. Okay. I almost don't want to turn this on. I almost don't want to turn it on. Because I don't want to know. I want to know. But I don't want to know. You know? Okay. Whoa! I don't know how well you can see that with all the lights on. Just turning some of the studio lights off. Can you see that? Does it look cool? I need to tell Danny that I may have found the problem. So while I am telling Danny that I may have found the problem and it was an ID10T error, enjoy the phaser array. I may have found the problem and it may have been a ID10T error. I was using pin numbers from a previous sketch. I double checked all the pin allocations in the sketch I have and found them to be wrong compared to my list. So retesting now. And I'm assuming you all know what an ID10T error is, right? Yeah. ID10T error, everybody. You just witnessed one. Live and in person. Who left the phasers running? You just vaporized half the workshop. Yeah. All right. I need to record a quick clip. So I'm going to record this live, which means I'm going to shut off. Let's see. I'm going to shut off my face. I'm going to shut off my logo because I will add that in post. And we're going to do it live. Ready to do it live? We're going to do it live. Let's see how this goes. I'm recording. So I've been spending about the last week trying to figure out what on earth is going on with the lighting circuits in this thing, because I was doing a live last week and I could not figure out why the lighting was not working properly. Well, turns out that it's 9010T error and I got my pin numbers wrong. Not your banking pin numbers, but the numbers on which the pins are supposed to be plugged into the Arduinos. And I had the warp listed as pin number 4, where it's listed as pin number 7 in the script. I really should have gone back and checked the script. So, first set of effects that I'm testing out is the phaser effect here, and it is starting to look really, really cool. Like, that looks very cool on there. I'm really happy with that, and really happy that we seem to have sorted out the issue. So the next thing I'm going to do is check the warp engines and make sure that they are working the way they are supposed to work. All right, clip recorded, one and done. You gotta love it when the clips are recorded just as one clip and you don't have to go and do it again. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna turn some lights back on so you can actually see what's going on here. And we're gonna hook up the warp engines and see if those are now working, being plugged into the right pin. Okay. Studio lights back on. By the way, if anybody doesn't know what an ID10T error is, write it down. And you'll find out pretty quick. Alright, so we're going to plug in the sail main. We're going to plug in... Oh, I'm so glad I got that sorted. Warp Plus. Which is over here. There was a flash, and I need the warp data. Here goes... Wait, warp data goes into... Let's look at this list over here. Number 7. Here goes nothing. Woo! We got warp engines! Yes! We got warp engines. Danny's going to be happy to hear that we've got warp engines. Alright, well, I'm going to need to film another little clip here. Alright, so let me get set up to... Oh, might as well plug in the Buzzards as well. Buzzards, we never had an issue with Buzzards. We're on number 5. So let me grab the Buzzards. And that's going to be... The cell main. Let me plug in the Buzzard data. That goes on pin number 5. Plug this into power. Woohoo! Nice! We got to deal with the flash color a little bit. It's a little bit too yellow in person. Now, it'll only flash when it goes to, like, the first time, when it goes to warp. And then it'll stay the blue color the rest of the time. But Danny just has it on a recurring loop at the moment. Let me pull up the chat, because I'm sure I'm missing lots of chat. Yay, looks great! Nope, no new chats, because I see the Who Left the Phasers running. You just vaporized half the workshop. Yep, perfect. All right. I am so happy about that. So happy about that. Okay. Let me go back to the sketch. Bizards, phaser array, strobe lights, torpedo launcher, warp engines. I'm not going to test the photon launcher because it's just a 0402 SMD. Should be no problem with that. But we're going to need to get the rest of the things. So I'm going to get a video, another clip recorded. And so I need to turn off my face. I never turned my logo back on. That's fine. And yeah, I'm gonna lower my camera a little bit to get this a little bit closer. I'll leave the lights on so so the LEDs don't blow out the camera quite so much. And I'll move this over just a touch. Let's see if I can grab another roll of tape that I just dropped on the floor. And I might just turn off a couple of the studio lights. A little bit closer. And here we go. Let's record. Oh, I am so happy to see this. I'm so happy to see the warp nacelles working properly. So what we've got running currently is the warp on the go to warp effect looped. We've got the Bizard effect going on here. Now remember, the Bizards are covered with this yellow tape, so it's a little bit muted, which actually probably helps with it being on camera. And then we've got the phaser effect going on here. So we are currently running 3 effects, and they are all running perfectly. I am so happy to see this. Danny, my programmer, is going to be so happy to see this because I was telling him that it wasn't working, and he couldn't figure it out. It was a 9010 error. It was my fault. I just had everything on the wrong pins. So yes, I am happy this is working. This relieves a little bit of pressure on my side of it, and things are looking good. So we can now very, very confidently get the rest of these wires consolidated so that they will all function properly with the Arduino. And you were getting a little bit of a bonus light show there on the impulse engines at the end because the phaser... No, what is it? Is it the phasers? What's the data here? Actually, I have no idea why you were getting some power going to the impulse engines. That's interesting. I'll have to figure that out. The impulse and the deflector should be on the same data circuit, but maybe they're getting power from one of these lines. I don't remember. But anyway, the effects that we were worried about are working, so that is a bonus. Let me just plug it back in. There we go. Very nice. I'm going to grab just some clear video of this for a moment so that I can post it on the various socials. I'll probably just put some music in behind this and not me randomly talking. I'm very happy to see this. Ah, this is so good. Just let that run for another few moments. Recording. And yeah, I don't know how long we've been recording for 35 seconds. Let me just grab a minute's worth here of footage so that I've got more than enough to work with. Got about 50 seconds, 54, 55. And we're good. We're good. Stop recording. All right, I can throw my face back on there. I can throw my maple leaf back on there. And oh, it's getting late. It is getting late. All right. I'm going to need to end the stream with that, but at least it's a bit of flashy to end the stream on. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. Let me just take a quick look here at the chat, and we've got nothing new there in the chat. So thanks for spending some time with me while I figure out this wiring mess. It's a bit of a happier ending than last week because the effects are working. I'm glad that I got that sorted. So thank you for joining, and I'm going to try to do these streams Saturday nights, 9 to 11 Eastern time. Each week there will probably be some weeks where it will not happen because life happens and family happens and all that is very important. But as much as I can, I will try to be here Saturday nights at those times. And if there's any other days that I can squeak in an extra stream, I may just do that too. So, all right, thank you for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today? It'll make me very happy if you do. But for now, my name is Andrew, and this is Canadian Starships. Have a great night, everyone.